So many ways and choices to collect stamps. As individuals, we usually have preferences. Do we collect mint or used or both? Or do we prefer singles or multiples? Or commemoratives or definitives? Or yet another choice of so many more possibilities. In this video, I cover a few options in regards to some stamps of Germany. Here are three choices. For example, collecting stamps with top margins, such as this horizontal strip of 4 with nice postmarks, very clean, and really nice top margins. Or do we collect uh, stamps with sheet numbers, like the ones on the right here? Or how about form numbers? These are in the lower right corner of the sheets, typically on commemorative stamps and usually also on definitives. And they range anywhere from number 1, as shown here, to number 4. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Or perhaps we like blocks of 4 with a nice postmark centrally applied. These two are very attractive and very collectible. Or do we have a bigger interest in definitives? Well, perhaps some of us do, and some of us don't. But going back to commemoratives, when it comes to value differences for a specialist, we can look for plate flaws, color omissions, watermark varieties, and maybe some others. Top margins, multiples, etc. on commemorative stamps may not necessarily increase value by much, but are certainly more attractive and sellable. Definitives are frequently different in determining value. This is partly due to the different types of printing, such as either flat plate or rotary printing, as well as more frequent printings as per demand. Unlike commemoratives, which are mostly printed in sheets, definitives are also printed in sheets, but often as well for booklets and in coils in certain denominations. Occasionally, a collector wishes to collect pages of singles, since many definitives are so plentiful and relatively cheap. Or this way, maybe, that is, if perhaps they are a coil stamp, have tagging, or perhaps a different watermark position. The only way to know if you have a coil stamp is if on the back side a printed on number is visible, which occurs on every fifth stamp, or if you have a vertical strip of 11 stamps, of which none has such a number on the back, or gum side if you wish. Black or red colors are usually used for these coil numbers. Occasionally, there are green numbers as well. A single coil stamp catalogs more than a single from a sheet, typically. Such is the case on this stamp. It's not a very pretty example, but this is all I have to show you. As you can see, the printed on number 0660 indicates that these two stamps are off of a coil of stamps. The lower one with the number catalogs about $4, whereas if they were separated, your single at the top would catalog for about 50 cents. So you can see there is a difference. And on some better values, coil stamps can be more expensive, by far more expensive. Also depending on whether a stamp has perhaps ribbed paper, or I should say ribbed gum or smooth gum. As in one of my previous videos some time ago, I explained that situation, which does and can make a large difference in catalog values. So you have to pay attention to that as well. Form numbers are sought after by specialists, but have no listing as yet in the specialized catalog. Here we're looking at, on the left, form number 1, again in the lower right corner of the sheet. On this one, there is no form number, and I am not sure why that is. Perhaps an omission or some other reason for that. I have to do some more investigating. And the last one on the right definitely shows a number 4. So these are collectible, and typically stamps, postmaster or people, when they mail stamps on a cover, remove the margins for some reason or another. So sometimes they're not that easy to find. Nicely canceled as singles or on piece or with margins are all very collectible. In this series and some others, especially those denominations that were printed in both flat and rotary printing, are listed with catalog values for mint and mostly better for used. In this case, all the top margins are of the plate printing. And yes, there is still more with dramatic value differences. They may all look of the same cat values, but are they? Well, the answer is no. As we know, these type of coil stamps are attached vertically. In this case, they are not numbered, so we cannot prove them to be coil stamps. Basically, 2 times single stamp catalog value. Therefore, we can positively say that the horizontal pairs are from sheets. These horizontal pairs are listed and carry quite a premium, especially in used condition. The 30 pfennig, for example, has a minimum catalog value of 130 euros. The 40 pfennig on the right, horizontal pair, carries a value of minimum 200 euros. I keep saying minimum because there could be variances, such as if these stamps were tagged, the value, especially on the 30, dramatically increases. I mean, dramatically. And of course, if they were on cover, even more so. Or perhaps if there are watermark varieties, that does impact the value as well. And on this page, a decent total catalog value. However, strangely enough, the 1, 2, and 3 high value stamps, these right here, actually catalog the lowest in pairs. The only difference is when you have larger multiples, such as here, then the value does increase, and with additional premiums for such multiples of that size. So anyways, very good catalog value on this page. And it is of utmost importance for appropriate catalog values to hold true that the condition, such as no perf separation and expertizable cancels, yes, even for this relatively modern material, is necessary. So condition and good cancel must be. So some of these are relatively good condition. Some do have a little bit of short perfs right here, and a little wrinkle in the top part of the stamp and stuff like that. So some others are in better shape and therefore, hold the catalog value much better. This 80 pfennig, a block of 4 with a nice top margin of the flat plate printing, is a very nice combination with a gentle cancel applied centrally on this block. Well, relatively centrally. And this also is very attractive and very sellable if that's what you like to do. And then we have one more very easily overlooked little treasure. It is referred to as the printer's mark, which can be a positive, like this one over here on the margin, or here on the enlargement, positive or negative number, or one or more letters. You have to be very careful. Sometimes if these items are canceled, I've run into them where they actually have the postmark over in this general area here, it can sometimes block out that number, or printer's mark, I should say. Um, these printer's marks are typically, but not exclusively, in this position of a sheet next to the number one uh, stamp position on the sheet, upper left. And this particular stamp is of the rotary type printing. When you see lines like this, and I've explained the difference between rotary and flat plate printing in one of my earlier videos. So there are some differences. This particular item with this printer's mark, believe it or not, has a used catalog value of 240 euros for used. Unbelievable. Only because of this printer's mark. And again, typically margins are removed when stamps are applied to covers or bought from the post office, stuff like that. So occasionally you will, or hope you can find such a printer's mark in your search. And yes, there is still more to consider. And most of it I mentioned already, but I'll go through it again. Mint versus used, watermark position, gum type, color of coil number, fluorescence or not, plate numbers, printer's mark, just to mention the most of them. So anyways, in the final analysis, you can see the many different variations in some definitives as opposed to the also very interesting commemoratives, which offer their own little treasures. Here we have a cover with the correct postage as a mixed franking because we have two different types of stamps, the green and the blue of different denominations as well. The Berlin mandatory tax stamp has no bearing on the postage. This particular cover, at minimum, catalogs €3.50. So add another 20% and it's roughly the amount in US dollars. So not a huge amount. This particular cover also has the correct franking of 20 Pfennig. And here we have what we refer to, as I explained in a previous video as well, multiple franking, which means two or more of the identical stamps on cover. And again, the Berlin mandatory tax stamp on this one also does not add to the postage. And one other cover, also with the correct postage. Excuse me. This one is in mixed franking, but in good multiples. We take, in this case, to determine value, the highest on-cover pair price and add the rest as used stamps. So what do we have here? The highest pair price as per specialized catalog is a pair of the 7, which on cover catalogs 90 euros. Additionally, the second pair as just a used copy catalogs 25 euros. And the two horizontal pairs of the 6 catalog each 15 euros. So that makes this cover for just the postage at 145 euros. So not too shabby, especially if these two can be found in $1 dealer boxes. So be careful and check them closely, and also the condition. In this case, the blocks are in very nice condition, and again, nicely postmarked. All of it has an optical effect for the overall appearance of this particular cover. Clean, nice. That's how we want them, right? Yes. Well, I hope you got a little enjoyment out of this video. Um, yes, in this case, my specialty area was stamps of Germany, and therefore I have most of my reference material for stamps of Germany, and so many of my videos will have a lot of German material. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my video. Give me a thumbs up and hopefully subscribe to my future and past videos. Thank you so very much for watching. So as you can see, sometimes subtle differences such as vertical pairs of stamps versus horizontal pairs of stamps and some definitive values can make a big difference in catalog value. And either way, very collectible in both formats. And also, coils, etc., margin copies, and what have you. All, I think, add to the interest of the hobby, and also, in most cases, do add some value to the stamps. My channel, Stamps Space My Fun Things. Best of luck to all of you, and also good health for all of you as well. Thank you again.